My name is Matthieu, but Matt is good here. Contracts. I'm here to talk about contracts. I'm sure you're all excited about that. Yeah. My name is Matt, and 5 years ago, I used to work as the right hand of the CEO of a $5 billion company. And one day, that CEO asked me to renegotiate the 500 contracts we had with 500 suppliers. There were something like $300 million at stake. The first 5 minutes, I was like, oh my God, that's really cool. That's a huge mission. And the next 6 months, I was like, oh my God, I want to kill myself right now. Why? Because I spent 1 month looking for the 500 contracts in the file cabinets of the company. Then I spent 1 month reading the contracts to know where they were signed, where they were supposed to end, etc. And then I spent 4 months sending Word documents through emails to my colleagues and to my suppliers just to renegotiate the contracts. And I'm sure you all have experienced the same thing here. I mean, what the hell? Contract management is where finance was 30 years ago. And I'm not the only one saying this. Larry Ellison himself is. We have tools, software, platforms to manage everything in a company, except for contracts. 96% of the companies in the world manage a contract manually, and it costs them $150 billion a year because of business delays, high management costs, and financial and legal insecurity. We think it's time for a change. That's why we created Contract Live. We are the first contract empowerment platform for Swift-running business. Unlike e-signature players like DocuSign, Contract Live does the whole package. We help you guys to manage all your contracts, HR, supplier, customers, across all stages, creation, negotiation, signing, management, on one single platform in order to help you guys accelerate the speed of your business, slash costs, and improve your compliance. Let's see how it works. Let's say I want to sign a contract. I just have to go on Contract Live. I can import my contract, for instance, through a Word document. Let's do that in Live. Import. I just have to add the title of my contract. Let's call it contract. And I just to add the email address of my colleague, let's say Brad. And let's say it's a supplier contract, so I'm going to add the email of my supplier. I'm sure the UI looks familiar to some of you. It looks like Gmail. Yeah. We try to make sending contract as easily as sending an email at Contract Live. So I just have to press send, and that's all. And bam, my contract is now created. My colleague has been added to the negotiation, and my supplier too. And now I can work online with all of them, edit the contract online. We're going to keep track of all the changes, all the versions. You will be able to compare them. And then, of course, you're going to be able to sign it online with the same legal value as a handwritten signature, or as if you were using DocuSign here. And when it's done, my contracts join all my other contracts in one single place. I can see precisely at what stage they are, validation, negotiation, signature, and I can receive deadline alerts to not miss any deadline anymore. I have automated templates to create thousands of contracts in a snap. The best thing about Contract Live is that you can actually use it starting at $29 a month per user for an unlimited number of contracts. And we are very excited about Contract Live because we launched 12 months ago, and 12 months after, Contract Live has been used for more than 3,000 companies in 80 different countries. And we have now more than 100 paying customers from SMB to huge billion-dollar companies. And as we speak, Bosch, for instance, is currently sending 20,000 of contracts to 8,000 distributors through Contract Live. And this distributor will discover Contract Live within the next few days. This is the trick in our business model. It's viable and it's growing. Why are we here? We're here to build the next Salesforce for contracts. I'm French, but we're an American company. Our headquarters are here in the US. We just raised $1.4 million, as announced on TechCrunch 1 month ago. And we are currently working on a Series A to find the right partner to help us get to #1 Market Street. Thank you.
So this is very fascinating to me. But my main question, yeah, we got to use that for other people's questions. My main question, just to kick this off, is who do you see as your biggest competitor? Because you could kind of almost say you're in a lot of different spaces.
Well, our main competitor has a very bad name. It's called inertia.
You're presenting tonight, yes. Yeah.
That's the real issue. I mean, who are we competing with? There is first-generation solution like Ariba, for instance, here, Mteris, this kind of companies. And there is e-signature player, the EchoSign, DocuSign. But the thing is, it's either a huge expert solution for legal departments, either they're just tools, and you can just sign with DocuSign. And it's a great thing, actually. DocuSign basically invented the wheel, and it was needed in this market. But we think the wheel is not enough. You cannot do anything with a wheel. We try to build the car over that wheel.
Yeah. Okay. So you can change in document. Is this in real time? So like you're watching the changes across in the cloud, like across?
Right now, no. You have to do it turn by turn, but we are working on that, so you can do basically the same thing as you will do on Google Doc.
Yeah. Do you integrate with? Sorry to hog the microphone, but do you integrate with that like partners, or is it just?
Of course, we have an API, so basically we can connect to any software. And I mean, our customers, for instance, send data to Contract Live automatically to create thousands of contracts and just send them in a snap. So that's a really cool thing about Contract Live.
Cool. So the light's kind of in my eyes, so you have to make it really obvious that you need to ask a question, if you have one.
Hands up, guys. I'm back here with a microphone.
Oh.
Yeah, so we can do that in Contract Live. You have all the validation process, but right now it's very manual. So basically, what we're going to try to add in the next few months is a very traditional workflow with steps to validate before going to the next one. Right now, we were focused on the very basic feature of contracting, which is creation, negotiation, signing, and all the management part. And that's very important. I mean, your contract is not done when it has been signed. That's actually just the beginning of its life. So we have some very nice features on Contract Live about summary sheets. We can compare contracts. You can basically know what are the different financial clauses between all your contracts, so you can actually take actions to sometimes slash your cost, let's say, for supplier contracts.
I got one question here. The two-part question. What are your sales and what's your ideal customer profile? You had mentioned Bosch as one of your customers.
So we work with any type of companies. We have two employees company working with Contract Live. Just have one user, and they can use it for just $29 a month. And we have also like huge companies like Bosch, Siemens, this company. Our ideal customer for us are, of course, companies that have a lot of contracts to create, negotiate, and sign, of course. And in our point of view, or more on our business model, of course, a client like Bosch is one of the best clients we can have. They currently send thousands of contracts to thousands of companies that will use Contract Live. And over the last 12 months, we wanted to validate three things: that we had the right products to answer the issue of companies about contracts, that companies were able to pay for that, and that the viral effect of Contract Live was working. And it's really working. So right now, we are currently focusing on selling to companies, it's not a question of size of a company, it's more a question of number of contracts you actually have to do.
Thank you, very interesting. A contract has a whole bunch of details, like for example, if you say you don't update them in a transactional way, for example, two people can update them at the same time and mess it up, right? So how do you handle that? How do you also handle content management and workflow and all of these things?
So, I mean, about modification on the same simultaneously, you mean? So basically, you can't do that right now in Contract Live. So what we do is basically we block edition when someone is currently editing your contract. But you know, at the end, we have statistics for that. That doesn't really happen like often. But we're going to try to do as the same thing that we found on Google. And so, I mean, we don't handle workflow as you would be able to do that on a huge software. It's one of the parts in our roadmap right now, and we also want to add features for reporting, for instance, because I mean we have all the data of your company with your contracts, and because of that we can actually maybe try to tell you, hey guys, this is an issue. There are issues about this kind of contracts because they were negotiating around like 20 days this month, and we can maybe be able to shorten that contracting, or maybe able to reduce your costs on this kind of contracts. So I mean, that's just the beginning for us. We'll be only here for 12 months now.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. So it seems security of the contracts would be a real sensitive issue, especially with the volume of contracts that you have coming in from high-level clients. Do you guys manage all of your systems on your own servers? Or are you computing in the cloud? How do you ensure your clients that the contracts will be secure?
Well, it's the most confidential data of a company, contracts. So what we do is basically all the connections to Contract Live are encrypted with the same protocol that the bank uses for their own transactions. And all the contracts are actually stored on electronic safe devices. So we make sure that no one has access to the contract or a client. And it's even true for ourselves. We don't have access to the content of the contract of our customers. And we don't use that content, of course. We don't sell it. So it's very clear. And I mean, we have been able to work with big companies, and they always are, of course, asking about security. That's their main concern. And that's a right concern to have. But we have been able to prove that everything was okay right now. Thank you so much. And contract-live.com.
Thank you,
You can register for free.
Contract Live. Good stuff.